history. You hear about this and you read about that. I don't want to look at Grumpy Cat. This is how to watch TV. What's that I hear? You hear the Lost finale. It's not your fault that you can't see what we see. This is how to watch TV. On Comeuppance Network. This is how to watch TV. On Comeuppance Network. This is how to watch TV.
Chronologically Lost with Joel and Jenna. My name's Joel.
My name is Jenna. We're brought to you by Comeuppance Network. You can find all of our social media links at thisishowtowatchtv.com.
So we're back for another episode. Did you think we'd not do that?
Why?
I don't know. It's just asking. Of course we're going to be back for another episode. Obviously. Whether I post them every Saturday or not is irrelevant. I forgot until Monday this past week and posted it anyway. But we recorded way early, so laziness. That's all I can say. It's just pure laziness.
On your part.
Yes. Well, anything going on before we get into the episode? Anything going on in your life that's worth discussing? Anything you're watching? You know, I don't know.
Still watching Shameless.
Okay.
I'm only on episode.
There's like a million seasons.
I'm only on season 4.
Okay.
Watching Parks and Rec still occasionally. It's pretty hilarious.
It's always good.
I mean, like, I think it's funny that that's my 7-year-old's choice of show. Like, Caden will wake up in the morning and be like, I want to watch that show with Andy.
He just knows it was
Andy. And he
Andy.
goes, like, directly to the, like, the super musical explosion show or whatever.
Johnny Karate.
Johnny Karate, yeah.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
He goes to that episode?
He goes to that one and he'll watch like 5 episods and then he'll start back over and go back to that one because he likes it.
Well, of course. With Johnny Karate. That's some good shit. I don't know. I watched, I'm trying to finish The Leftovers. It almost feels like a chore, not for watching them, but for the podcasts about them. It's tough to schedule with Jeremy, admittedly, and he's not like rip-roaring about the show. I came over to him last...
He does not love it.
I came over, but we loved season 2. It's
I know.
crazy. Like
I haven't even watched past episode 3 because I don't have the interest to put the time in. I don't want to sit down and waste an hour watching that.
I don't want to miss stuff on the podcast, so it's stressful for me because I want to make sure I like check Reddit and like find things that even I didn't notice or you know what I mean, stuff like that to make sure it's fully covered so that it's worth listening to.
Right.
So like that's the part I dread, but then I know he's not like super into it at the moment. But again, we finished season 2 like this is the best show going at the moment. You know, this is one of the best shows on TV.
Season 2 was really good.
I mean,
but
I'm gonna have to watch this one straight through. Even with season 1,
I had a love-hate relationship with Leftovers because it was
super depressing in
season 1. So
depressing. Yeah.
And I was like,
really well done.
Which is why I don't think I even finished Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah.
Because it was so depressing that I was feeling like an overwhelming sense of depression, like in my own life from watching. I was like binge watching it, and then I got to like, I don't know, maybe right before the last season, or maybe I started the last season.
The Tara thing.
But yeah, when that happened, I was like, I'm done. Like, I don't want to watch this anymore. Like, I just couldn't do it. So, I mean, I know one day I'll go back and finish it. But have you started Continuum?
I watched the first episode of Continuum, yes. I like the concept.
It's cool.
I mean,
I'm not saying that this is no Game of Thrones, not even up there with Leftovers as far as like intricacy of like
time stuff in it.
Yes, and that's what's cool to me. It's a nice,
Do
easy
they keep
watch.
Playing with time,
yes.
Or is it now a procedural cop show with an out of her element cop because she's from the future shit? No. Like, I mean, I'm sure that's going to play into it. They keep
playing with time, and they're trying to get back, and then they, there's different, it's kind of like Fringe.
So, what was the show that you were telling me had a bunch of, like... I feel like there was another one that you were like, you have to watch this show.
The Travelers.
No, that one's lame. I watched the first episode of that. And
Continuum.
Just, that one actor, the guy the twist at the end of the first episode guy... push somebody down a thing. Yeah. That guy, he's lame. I just don't. He took me out of the whole show.
I know, but the concept of the show was good. Mm-hmm. The fact that they were in the Travelers, what they were doing is they were in the future, they would send people back 13 seconds before somebody was going to die. Like, if right now you're about to die because you're going to have a heart attack, but they want to save the world and they want to use your body to do it. So 100 years from now, they're going to send somebody that's born in that time.
So you don't ever die. So you don't actually die.
But your conscious is gone.
Right.
So, but they take on your body and your life.
Yeah.
And proceed with their mission, which I thought was cool.
Yeah.
So, and they all know each other. They all get up and they meet together, but they have to lead their regular lives, you know.
I think it also turned me off because of the name, because I watched a show back in the day called Traveler that was so fucking awesome, and they canceled it after 8 episodes. If you haven't seen Traveler, I don't know where you can find it, but watch that show. Yeah. Then go on, I think it's IMDb. On the IMDb page for Traveler, the creator of the show came onto the message board and laid out what seasons 2 through 6 would have been, or 2 through 5. Cool. And it was fucking awesome. And it was like, oh, why couldn't that show have
The other going? Show I think that I was watching when I was watching Continuum was... It was like a space one where they all lived in... That's what
I thought you were talking about when you recommended Continuum.
No.
And it wasn't The Expanse, because I started that and that was shit. No. So what was the one you're talking about? That's the one I'm thinking of.
Yeah, it's on Netflix. So, I mean, it's one where they live in space for so long. It was only like a 3-part series, though. There weren't many episodes. There were like, maybe it was 6
But does it have anything to do with time travel? I thought for some reason another one you mentioned.
I feel like it did, but I don't remember.
Or is Continuum the one you're saying that
Continuum definitely is like Fringe. But with time travel.
Okay.
So, well, yeah, because Fringe was traveling worlds, right?
I mean, God, that
different
show's
universes.
So good. Fringe was so good.
I thought you put it on airplane mode over there.
I did put it on airplane mode. What the fuck? Okay, so episode 81 of Chronologically Lost. Episode 81, 2005 to 2006. It was a weird episode title. It kind of threw me off there as I said it. There's no month, there's no day. It's not day this on the island. 2005
to 2 years.
2005 to 2005-2006. So I'm assuming it can be anywhere in those 2 years.
Yeah, they just don't know. Okay.
I mean, I think basically what they did was they got the order right. So we find out first in 2005 that it's October 24th when Ben checks in at
the hotel.
Yeah, the hotel. He's in Tunisia, but he goes under the name Dean Moriarty. I don't know any significance to that name. I just remember that's what it was.
I feel like didn't we talk about the ring place recently? The
ring?
Moriarty's on the square?
Mm-mm.
Oh, maybe I was just thinking about it when he said his name on the show.
Oh, okay.
We have a jeweler on the square in Crown Point, Moriarty's. And he goes and like digs up his own. He goes to like Tanzania and digs up his own.
Just to go to Tunisia?
Tunisia, whatever the place is.
Because if he goes to Tunisia and his last name is Moriarty, it's Ben.
Yeah.
Well, he's a preferred guest at the hotel, and then when she looks up his name, she seems a bit frightened. Didn't she?
Yeah.
Didn't she seem weird about it?
Don't piss this guy off.
What could that possibly be? Widmore's pull? Or, well, no, he's not Widmore. So whose pull is that?
It would be
Eloise?
Ben.
He wasn't really working for Eloise either. She hated him too, right?
It would just be Ben. They're just afraid of Ben. Has to be.
Man, what did he do with that hotel in the past? If anybody has a better explanation for that, I'd love to know why they seem so terrified. Because I kept thinking, oh, it's just to do with Widmore. And it's like, wait a minute, no. That's the opposite.
It just says maybe he's like a high donation person, or maybe he's there under the name of somebody to do with like Dharma. So, you know, like the, I don't know, like when those high rollers walk in, everybody gets all intense because.
Right, but they're usually like, oh, let me get you right this way, sir. But it just felt like, oh shit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you're in this room.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. I'm interested why he was scary. Then he asked her what day it was. And October 24th, and he's like, 2005 or?
Yeah.
Yes. So Ben sees Saeed on TV talking about just wanting to bury his wife. That was very reminiscent of Saeed on the TV in season 1 when Hurley, in Hurley's flashback. Or, I mean, no. How did that work?
Was on
Hurley
the
was
show.
on the TV
Because he won the lottery ticket.
When Jin was beating that guy up, or going to that guy's house to beat him up. Okay. So anyway, we go to Iraq at Nadia's funeral procession. There's military everywhere. Ben just kind of showed up looking like a photographer tourist and then went up on top and was taking pictures. Now, so his goal then was to get pictures of that guy for Saeed to then kill that guy.
Yes.
So he was
using Saeed's sadness to his own gain is all that was happening there.
So do you think that thing was faked about him running over Nadia?
Yeah, because I don't know why that guy would have killed her unless Ben hired that guy to kill Nadia so that Ben could hire Saeed to do these things to get them back to the island, which is, I would not put that past Ben.
Right. No, that's definitely a complicated enough shit. I guess I don't quite understand the sequence of events on this because
no, because Nadia died last episode. If Ben arrived, did we see Ben arrive before Nadia was killed in wherever he arrived? You know what I'm saying?
Let's see. Who killed Nadia? Let's see. Death. Date of death, hit by a car. She was hit by a car in a hit and run. It doesn't show anything about it.
Yeah, but Jacob knew she was going to die.
Presented circumstantial evidence, a picture from a traffic camera. Okay, yeah, so he didn't really do any. I was just curious.
I don't think that...
So he just got a picture of him in the area where Nadia was run over and then used that to link the feelings to the revenge impulse of Saeed to get him to work for him.
Was that guy really driving?
He was in a car somewhere, but like it says on there, circumstantial evidence. He was in the area around the time she got run over.
Oh,
but that was Jacob's fault. Clearly,
but why would Jacob want Nadia to die? That's what I would like to know.
I don't think it's that he wanted her to die.
He didn't want Saeed to die?
No, I don't think Saeed... Do you think that's what it was? Do you think
he was standing there stopping him from walking into the street, but why wouldn't he have stopped both of them?
You know what I never thought of was him saving Saeed. I always thought of it as him letting her die, but maybe it was him. I figured he was letting her die because she needed to die for Saeed to want to come back to the island. But, to Jacob's end.
Why would Jacob care?
But it wasn't that. He intervened to save Saeed.
That's what... Right. But...
Just like with Ben. What about you? He doesn't care about Nadia. She's not relevant in what he's thinking about. He's making sure that the person that he needs to come back comes back, and that's Saeed.
Yeah, but I still don't understand why Jacob wants Saeed to come back. He should have already known whether or not he was a candidate.
He does, and he was trying to get him to come back, and the only way he's going to come back is if he's not married. He needs to be lost in his life to want to come to the island.
Okay.
But again, if it's not as malicious as... you know how, the island won't let you die? Michael? This is almost Jacob intervening to say, you're not going to die, Saeed, as opposed to, it just happened to work out that Nadia got killed. It's...
But they all have to die, eventually. So, this part, I guess, he needs him to come back, and that's fine, but is Jacob able to see the future?
I would assume that he knows stuff. Yeah, he's a deity of some sort.
He knows that Nadia's going to die, or they were going to die right then. I don't know. I just thought that was weird.
So, anyway, Ben's taking pictures on the rooftop. Saeed makes eye contact with him, and then Saeed tackles him when they get outside, and he thinks he's a paparazzi, and until he realizes it's Ben. When he realizes it was Ben... Good Saeed faces in this episode. Good. It's almost like he's getting better as an actor as it goes along. It's not a bad Saeed cry face. He said he was here to find the man who murdered his wife, and he asked how he got here, and he's like, I crossed the Syrian border. It wasn't that hard, actually.
Yeah.
How did he get off the island? He lied and said he used Desmond's boat to go to Fiji, then chartered a plane. And Ben brings up Widmore and says there was a man at the procession who works for Widmore, and then he shows him that picture that he just took. And then shows him the one from the traffic camera and says that guy killed Nadia. And then Saeed is rightfully confused about why he would want to murder her.
So maybe that guy was hired to kill all of the Oceanic Six, and Jacob knew that was going to happen, so he saved Saeed but let Nadia die.
Have we ever considered that Jacob and Widmore talk?
I mean, that seems kind of weird. That's like a stretch, don't you think? Like,
I don't know. I'm just saying, has it ever even... I don't
that
think I've
were the
ever heard
case,
anybody
I would
even
think
mention
that
it.
Widmore would come back to the island.
But what if... Okay, I mean, I was thinking maybe Jacob didn't want him there anymore.
Then why would they talk?
But he talks to Man in Black.
That's his brother.
Was?
Was?
Yeah.
Well, he killed him.
Yeah. And then
so
after
when
that...
I kill you, does that mean you're going to come back as like a smoke monster? And haunt me the rest of your life?
I'm just saying that
Well, no, your life will be over. The rest of my life?
I'm just saying that if that happens or can happen, that's the way I want to go. Okay. I didn't realize we could, like, ask for smoke monster death.
Oh, can I come back as, like...
Smash my head on a rock and throw me in a magical river.
I want to come back as one of those white girls that with, like, a flowy dress.
Oh, you'll be a white girl.
I will. It's like that bit where he's like, "Yeah, if I get to pick, I'm gonna re-up as white every year."
No, the Louis C.K.
Yes.
The best one is the time traveling one.
Yeah,
it's that same bit.
That bit.
Jesus, yeah,
so
you can go back to anywhere.
I can go
Anybody
back
else
to any
gets in
time.
there. I don't want to go back. No,
right.
Let's just
any time in history. Yeah. Everyone's like, "Welcome, white man." Okay, anyway.
So Ben goes to the bar to stalk the guy, and he leaves, and Ben goes chasing after him. And the guy kind of is on to Ben and threatens him for following him, and Ben says who he is and tells him to take the message to Widmore. And then Saeed shoots the guy 7 times, and Ben's like, yeah, that should do it. Mm-hmm. Ben tries to leave and tells Saeed to move on, and he's like, once you let your grief become anger, it'll never go away. Fair enough. Ben says it's his war, not Saeed's, and he says he spent the last 8 years looking for Nadia, and he found her, married her, and then he buried her yesterday. So this is his war, and asks who's next, and then Ben does his little walk-away smirk thing that he does so well. And then we go to opening Lost.
Gotcha.
Yep. Next is the birth of Charlie, Charlie Hume. Right? Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Desmond's searching for a doctor in Thailand, and I don't know, I guess Thailand. They run to a boat, and Penny's giving birth, and she gives birth. Oh.
So they just they lived on the boat at that point? Okay.
Yeah, they just lived on the searcher because that way her dad couldn't find her.
Okay.
Like, it's that bad that she has to live at sea.
That's terrible.
Right. Where do you stop to pick up food? Like, oh shit! You know what I forgot? I forgot salsa. Where am I going to get that at sea?
Fish.
And make salsa out of fish?
Yeah. You fish for tomatoes.
Tomato fish. We go to London, England, and Ben gets dropped off at a hotel and is ready to whack the bellman if he doesn't let him up. And then he goes up to Widmore's penthouse and sneaks in, and he rubs it in Widmore's face that he was in Iraq, a.k.a. killed that guy. And he's, asking him when did he start sleeping with a bottle of scotch, and he's like, when the nightmares started. So Ben was saying the nightmares were starting for him on the island too, didn't he? When he was talking to Locke or Hurley about Locke.
Yeah, because the island used to tell them useful things, and now it's just bad. Right.
So it's still fucking with him even off the island?
I guess.
Huh.
That, or he's having nightmares about things that happened on the island. Right. Did you see what kind of whiskey he picked up?
Yeah, McCutcheon, 60. He asks if Ben came here to kill him, and he's like, I can't do that. Or we both know I can't do that. That's very similar to Man in Black and Jacob sitting there at the beginning of the season 5 finale.
Right.
Like, I want to watch it in that order just to get to that moment again, because I fucking love that so much. Good. That reveal was so awesome. When he's like, you know how badly I want to kill you right now? But he can't. Yeah. So that's the same thing here. Why? Why do they have that rule? Why can't Ben just kill Widmore right then?
Who's watching over them to say that they can't?
Exactly. That's what I want to know. Anybody? Please comment below if you have any suggestions.
Come on, guys, we're gonna get 8,000 likes tonight.
Oh my God, our kids are ridiculous. I mean, admittedly, I have a YouTube channel, but the kids are just like, okay, we're going to get 8,000 likes on YouTube. It's like, where do you think that's going to happen?
What channel is that?
Yeah, Sawyer's like, and I'm on Sawyer TV.
Subscribe to my channel,
Subscribe to my channel. It's just like, I need subscribers.
Does he have a TV channel?
He has Sawyer TV. He has like 5 episodes out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I guess I'd have to make one for Caden, but he watches like Team Edge all the time.
Yeah.
And they're hilarious. I mean, do you ever watch that?
Don't know what that is.
Okay. It's like a bunch of guys like your age that play like Nerf guns. And they have like a studio where they have like stuff and they shoot each other and they have games, capture the flag, they like play and they film it, or they sit down with their wives and do stuff. It's funny.
Yeah.
But they're always making fun of each other. And like Caden will be sitting there watching, just staring for hours. And then I'll hear him like bust out laughing hysterically.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God.
So he says he's here because Charles murdered his daughter, and he's like, you murdered her. How?
Because Ben didn't
do what he wanted?
Yeah.
That's not the same thing as murdering her. Like, if he meant because he refused to do it back in the day, when Widmore told him to. Remember, he told him to kill the baby.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Did he mean... no, I don't think he did. He calls Ben a rat for sneaking in and says he knows what and who Ben is. Everything he has, he took from him. He's here to tell Charles that he's going to kill his daughter. Once she's dead, then you'll understand how I feel, and you'll wish you hadn't changed the rules. And he's like, you'll never find her. And he says the island is his, and it always was, and it will be again. And, the hunt is on for both of them.
Yeah.
It's a good setup towards the end, you know? Even though Ben makes it back way quicker. Then we go to Hurley's police chase in his orange thing. Runs into the, oranges or something? Jack turns on the TV and sees it, and he pours a screwdriver for breakfast, because that's what you do.
I haven't had a screwdriver in so long.
Right. He figures out it's Hurley.
Buy vodka.
As Ron Swanson would say, vodka is for clear liquor is for
skinny white women on diets,
or just skinny women it's for
white women on diets. I think that's what he said.
Yeah, something like that.
Rich women on diets.
Yeah. So Hurley crashes and then surrenders, turns around and then runs. Well, the cops all have guns pulled on him. He's looking right at them. They're from here to the camera. And he takes off running, and doesn't even make it to the door.
Well,
I mean,
they were
come
like,
on.
well, this guy is not going to make
They're
it very
give me
far.
a break. What?
Really
the guy just steps over and grabs
chase
it.
you? Oh my God.
And then he shouts that he's one of the Oceanic Six.
Yeah.
I remember that being a big reveal at the time. In the police station, 10 minutes before the chase, Hurley was in a convenience store, we find out, and then he sees something and freaks out. He's being interrogated by Ana Lucia's partner. Did you notice that? Also, Abraham from Walking Dead.
Yes.
He doesn't care that Hurley's a celebrity, and then he tells him that he knew Ana Lucia and that he was in love with her. He didn't tell him that he was in love with her, but it seemed like he was clearly in love with her when he was talking about her. And I didn't catch that when they were partners.
I don't remember that either, because she was married, and...
Was she?
Yeah, she was married and pregnant, and then the guy left her after she got hit and
Right, but then she became his partner, right? Or was...
I don't remember.
Maybe they were partners when she got shot.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, that's right. I don't know. It just seemed like he had it, he was into her. Hurley lies and says he never met her. And at that point, it's when I figured out it was Abraham. I don't know why it took me so long. Hurley looks at the two-way mirror, then sees it filled with water, and someone swims up and touches the glass, and water pours in. It was supposed to be Charlie, but clearly wasn't. Had the hoodie pulled up all the way.
Oh.
The cop comes in and says if Hurley's trying to get put in the nut house, he can make that happen. He's like, you can? Oh, thank you, and hugs him.
Thanks so much.
Then we go to him playing Connect 4 at Santa Rosa, and Abaddon visits. Matthew Abaddon, and he says he's an attorney for Oceanic. He's here because he heard about the chase and arrest, and he offers an upgrade to a facility where the paint isn't peeling off the walls. Now, did you notice the chalkboard in the background? It's got a boat, it's got a shark, it's got a palm tree indicating an island. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I didn't notice that.
It may as well just say Lost on the board. And he says, you can see the ocean from your room. He's like, yeah, I don't want to see the ocean.
Yeah, no thanks.
He says he's fine here. He's like, but are you fine? You're in a mental institution. And he's like, let me see your business card.
Yeah.
And, I must have forgot it. He's like, are they still alive? And Hurley, freaks out and shouts for the nurse.
Yeah.
So he knows.
Well, he works for Widmore. We know that because he was the guy who hired the chick who died on the island, the parachuter chick, to
Naomi.
go on the freighter with them. Remember? She talked to him in the warehouse before they left.
She talked to
Abaddon.
Right, okay.
So he obviously works for Widmore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, we know that from all the way from the John Locke stuff.
Right.
Which, I guess that connects it a little bit more there, why he would be helping a man named John Locke. Because he had met him 50 years earlier or whatever. So outside Santa Rosa, Hurley's painting an igloo, and a guy tells him there's someone staring at him, and it's Charlie. How did that guy see him?
Right. I don't get it.
That doesn't make any fucking sense.
Because unless...
Go on. I like the tone.
Maybe Jacob took Man in Black with him off the island.
Okay, get out. No.
Why not?
Nope.
The two of them might have traveled together.
It was Charlie.
How?
Because Hurley can see and talk.
Then how did the other guy see him?
I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. Well, it was Charlie. You're right. Okay, so it couldn't have been Man in Black. I don't know. It was bad because I was like, what? When he said, your friend's here.
There's someone over there looking at you.
Maybe that guy's just crazy. Just throwing that out there because they are at a mental institution.
Maybe he also sees dead people.
Maybe he also saw somebody.
So anyway, Charlie confirms he's dead, and he tells him not to run like he did in the store. He's like, I'm dead, but I'm also here. And then he slaps Hurley to prove it. So now I sort of pictured that like Dave. Like the Dave thing where he was taking the picture and there's nobody there. But so then what? He's slapping himself and thinking that it's somebody else? That's psychotic.
I don't know.
He asks if he was going to die if he knew he was going to die when he swam out there. And he's like, yeah. And he goes, I didn't tell you because you would have tried to stop me. And he says Hurley's got something to do. He says they need him. And then Hurley kind of wishes him away. And it works. The other guy thought it was a sudden departure. It's like, where'd he go?
Yeah.
He's playing basketball when Jack shows up, and then they end up playing horse. Hurley doesn't miss at basketball, is what we found out.
Yeah.
He says he's still getting recognized when he goes out for coffee, Jack is, and says he's thinking about growing a beard. I mean, did you have to throw that line in?
Yes.
Because he's going to grow a beard?
He's going to.
I mean... Hurley asks what he's really doing here, and he realizes he was only checking on him to make sure he isn't going to talk about the island.
Yeah.
And
so he's salty about it.
Right, and Jack goes to leave, and Hurley says he's sorry he went with Locke, and he says he doesn't think they did the right thing. It wants us to come back. And Jack says, we're never going back. He's never say never, dude. I mean, pretty soon I have a feeling you'll be speaking a different tune,
Feel
Jack.
like you're going.
Feel like you're going to be saying we have to go back.
Maybe.
It's very weird that we haven't seen that yet.
Yeah.
And that we're basically in season 5, but haven't seen,
Right.
So at the golf course, Saeed's playing by himself. A guy offers him a ride, and they end up just making a bet. And the guy asks what Saeed does for a living. He's like, nothing. I got a large settlement. I was one of the survivors Oceanic 815. And the guy's like, I should get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
And the guy ends up closer to the pin, and he tries to leave without collecting the money.
Yeah.
And Saeed insists, and then drops the guy's name, and then drops the guy. And the sprinklers come on right as he walks away. That beautifully timed.
So who was that guy? Because I don't remember.
He was on the list for Ben.
Oh, yeah, okay.
It's just another one of the people that they're just showing him murdering all these people for the sake of, trying to cope with his grief, I guess. In Berlin, he sits at a table with a woman who's speaking German. Her name is Elsa. This is before Frozen.
It was. I know. I caught the name and I was like, what? So, of course, that name is very popular, like, in another
elsewhere,
country.
Yeah.
Elsewhere.
Elsa, where do you live?
Elsa.
He says he's a headhunter, a recruiter. She says her employer is an economist who works in emerging markets, and she shops for him. And they make googly eyes at each other, and she thinks she knows him from somewhere. Yeah. And he's like, I'll tell you if I could take you to dinner at 8. And then he does. And he tells Ben that he made contact. So, I mean, it was just another one of the people on the list. Yeah. You weren't supposed to know that at the time. It almost felt like it might be a thing. No, I mean, I guess you were.
No, she wasn't on the list, right? She was just...
No, her boss was on the list.
Right.
He was using her to get to her boss.
Yes.
At the courthouse, Kate is being bombarded by reporters. She's charged with fraud, arson, assault on a federal officer, assault with a deadly weapon, grand larceny, grand theft auto, and murder in the first degree. So she is facing charges for all this. There is no just getting out of it.
No, but I think that at the time, she wasn't on trial, so they were like, her charges are off the table, we're not talking about it. I think that's just how that went.
Well, yeah, no, I wasn't saying that her charges were dropped then. It was just, why would she discuss them with random reporters?
Right.
Yeah, I get that. She needs to shut the fuck up so that she doesn't incriminate herself.
Be quiet.
She pleads not guilty, and why do people always murmur when someone says not guilty? Everybody's always like,
oh my God, she said not guilty? I can't believe it.
Who's going to say guilty?
Right.
Wouldn't it be like, oh my God, they said they were guilty? Holy shit,
right.
Nobody ever says they're guilty.
I can't believe that.
I can't believe they said they were guilty. You hear a bunch of whispers. The prosecutor wants her to remain in custody during the trial, and the judge agrees, and Kate's back in cuffs.
Yeah.
In jail, Kate talks with her attorney, and the DA is trying the case herself, and says it's time to cut a deal, and says 15-year sentence, you serve 7. She's like, no. And if she goes to trial, it'll be 20 years per count and a life sentence for murder. So she's fucked either way there. She confessed to her mother, and she's their star witness. She asked to be put on the stand, and
the guy said no.
Yeah, he's like, he wants to make it about her character, and she wants him in the courtroom, and she doesn't want him. She's like, I don't want you using my son.
Yeah.
I mean, I get she has to say her son, and I guess that makes more sense than what I was thinking they were going with originally, it being Jack.
Yeah.
Because that would have made more sense, like her character off the, on the island, the island that they're telling.
But she was shitty on the island, and she was shady.
No. The island that they were on in the Oceanic 6 story.
Oh, yeah.
She must have been Helpful Kate there. And,
Helpful Kate.
Yeah, she would have definitely been
Helpful Kate.
I want to meet Helpful Kate as well. In Germany, Saeed and Elsa are going to the opera on their 5th date, and she says she's not bringing the pager. And Saeed's like, well, I'll carry it in case he calls. I don't want you getting fired. Yeah. I mean, it'd be a little more subtle. I mean, I get it, but it's probably believable. He would have been able to pull that off. But she's very old-fashioned. Or she says he's very old-fashioned, still using the pager. And she asks why he's still here. And, that he was only going to be here for a week, but the job is proving harder than he thought. And she thought he was staying for her.
Right.
I mean... It's all this play back and forth.
Yeah. She's wrong.
Well, no, she didn't actually think that. She's fucking with him, too. She knows. She told her boss immediately. When she talks the next morning, he hears her on the phone in the bathroom talking to her boss.
Oh, yeah, I forgot.
So she's in on it as well. Yeah. She's just seeing... They're just calling each other's bluffs, really, and that nobody's flinching.
Yeah.
So the next morning, they're naked and cuddling, and she says she realizes she knows nothing about him. And she looks quite a bit like Nadia, just in that one picture. Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, it's just a weird, pose.
Her eyes are closed, yeah.
Yeah. She wants to know about him, and, that's what people do when they're in love. And he says, okay, no more secrets. And just as he's about to tell her stuff, the pager goes off. Do you think she set that up, or do you think that just happened?
I have no idea.
She tells him where she's going, and Saeed tells her she has to leave Berlin. People are going to ask questions about what happened to your employer, and you can't be around to answer them. And then she pretends to realize it was about her boss. You know, he used her, and he says his name is on a list, and he's not an economist. And then she shoots him in the shoulder, and she calls her employer and says he was supposed to call at 10:30, and no, she didn't kill him. So it was
just random.
No, it was supposed to. He was supposed to call at 10:30. It might have been after 10:30.
Right.
So she's like, "What the fuck is taking so long?" I ended up having to talk to him.
Had to have sex with him. God damn it!
No, I had to talk to him after sex. The sex part was going to happen no matter what. So she was using him to get Ben's name, trying to get his employer's name.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And
or where he was at.
Right.
Okay.
And Saeed gets to a gun and kills her, and he says he really did like/love her. And he cries and closes her eyes, and most believable cry face yet.
It was good.
We go to the vet, just a vet's office, and Saeed stumbles into the operating room, and somebody asks if she's dead. And yes, she didn't kill him because she was trying to get information about you. Being all, barely not talking like Ben. He asks if he's crying because it hurts or because he was stupid enough to care for her. These people don't deserve our sympathies. He's talking very Nazi-ish. Like, it feels very, like, concentration campy, the way he...
Well, I mean, he's saying rhetoric. These people, like the people that work for Widmore.
Right.
But, yeah, it sounds pretty shitty.
Right. Saeed knows Ben used Nadia to recruit him to kill for him, and he's like, do you want to protect your friends or not? And he says he has another name, and he's like, but they know I'm after them now. And he's like, good. And that was the end of the episode.
It was a good one.
It was a good one. I'm enjoying. It seems to be moving a little bit faster now that they're off the island.
God, it was like half a day. We got through half a day. Like, what is going on?
Well, I mean, some of the stuff on the island was far more riveting.
Yes,
but it's such a change of pace now to be like, oh my God, we don't get
years.
We don't get months or years. We're back to that pre-island stuff where it was just like, holy shit, that was 2001.
Right.
I'm pretty sure there were 3 episodes of 2001. God, taking 3 episodes for a year.
Well, we just went from 5 to 6 real fast.
Right, we just went from 05 to 06. So we'll be back next week. Subscribe on YouTube. Subscribe on iTunes. Leave us a 5-star review on iTunes, please. Maybe say something nice about the show. That's really the best way that you can help out in terms of getting other people to check the show out. Share it. Tell people about it. There's a lot of things. Just go to comeuppance.com and check out all the other shows that we do. And we'll be back next week because
this is how to watch TV.
See you later.
All these memories in my mind, my mind. I'm still a secret lemonade drinker.